Okay, so in part B, they tell us that the cumulative frequency diagram for 140 visitors has already been drawn, and we now ask to do the cumulative frequency diagram for the local people. Okay, so what you need to do, and I've already done this, right? Plot the points. So you can see here, I plot a point here, okay, at 2.5 minutes, because there were 0 people, and then 5 minutes, there were 5 people, so I went up to 5 there, and then 7.5 minutes to 25, so I went up there. 10 minutes, there'd been 49 that had finished, so I went across to 10 minutes up to 49. 12.5 minutes, go across to 12.5, and 83 people had finished, and so on. So what you need to do then, once you plot those points, is draw them then, connect them then with a, connect each point with a straight line. Okay, try and be as accurate as you can. The graph paper here isn't the best. Okay, it's this is a practice question, so it's not from an actual exam. In the actual exam, I think you get a nicer graph paper than this. So, there's my cumulative frequency for the locals. I'd label this as well somewhere, maybe at the top here, for locals. Okay, so it says then, part C, the visitors had been set a target that 100 of the group would finish within 17.5 minutes. By how many minutes did they miss or beat their target? Well, 100 of the group, if you look here, there's 100. So if you go across to the visitors, they actually finished within 15 minutes. 100 of them did. Okay, so they had to do it within 17.5 minutes. So clearly they beat their target, didn't they? And in terms of how many minutes, well, they did it in 15 minutes. So they beat it by 2.5 minutes. Okay. And yes, they beat the target, so we can put beat there. Okay, so then we've got circle and true or false. Now, it says here the 10th percentile reading for the local people is between 5 minutes and 7 minutes. Now, when they talk about 10th percentile, right, it's unusual for them to ask this, but that just means 10%. Okay, so if you've got the local people, now go back to the part A here, there was 120 people in total, wasn't there? Okay, so 10% of this will be 12, okay? So 10% will be 12 people. Now, what I need to do is go and look for where 12 is on here. Okay, so 12 will be 6 little squares up. So it's there. So read across, draw a line across if you want, draw a line down, and it says it's between 5 and 7 minutes. Well, yeah, because 5 minutes is there, 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes is there. So indeed, it is between 5 and 7 minutes. Okay. 40% of the visitors took less than 12.5 minutes. Well, what will 40% be? Visitors, if you look at visitors, there's actually 140 visitors. So 10% will be 14, which will mean then 40% will be 4 of these. So 40% then, 4 lots of these will be 56. Okay, well, if we look at, easiest way to do this is actually look at where 12.5 minutes is, here. So if you look up at 12.5 minutes, you can see it's actually 40 people. 40 people took less than 12.5 minutes, whereas they say 40% of the visitors took less than 12.5 minutes. Well, no, 56 didn't take less than 12.5 minutes, only 40 did, so that's false. The estimated median time taken by the visitors is 13.75. Now remember, for median, you've got to look at how many are there in total. So there's 140 visitors, and the median will be the 70th, okay? So we go across at 70, okay, which will be here. Read down. So you've got 12.5 there, and then 13.75 would be there, wouldn't it? Because it's 13.75 is exactly halfway between 12.5 and 15, so that's true. The difference between the estimated median times of the two groups of people is about 3 minutes. So we've got the median there for the visitors. For the locals, now remember, locals, there's only 120 of them, so halfway will be the 60th. So when I look at the 60th, that there is about close to around 11ish, isn't it? So close to about 11. Well, it could be 10.75. Yeah, looking at the scale there. So yeah, it is about 3 minutes, isn't it? Okay, 3 minutes gap there. So yeah, absolutely true. If there had been only 120 visitors, they would certainly all have finished within 18 minutes. So look at the visitors. You've got 140 visitors, and they're saying if there was only 120, they'd have finished within 18 minutes. Now, this is a bit of a trick question, because if you look here, where 120 visitors, okay, 120 visitors had actually finished within 17 and a half minutes, okay, just like the locals. And then you've got another 20 visitors here. So they're saying if there's only 120, then they would have finished in less than 18 minutes. So you've got to think carefully, because you might think then, well, should we chop these off so they don't exist? Okay, but they are just saying 120 visitors in total. It could be that some of the visitors down here are the ones that didn't come, okay, that didn't come that day. So we wouldn't include them, but it could be some of them did actually come, okay? So then we could have visitors that actually took up to 20 minutes. So it's actually going to be false in that case there, okay, because we can't be sure which 120 visitors are being selected from this 140 here.